Yeah. And my other point, when you said with the pop-ups, the mini pop-ups, that slowly, I think, since things are starting to change and everyone's getting vaccinated and we're starting to go back in person, I still wanted to ask you guys about these mini pop-up events that you specialize in, because you are the experts. And when we do go back to in-person and more of like experiential marketing, I wanted to talk about, what are these mini pop-up events that you do and how can brands use them for exposure?
I think, I've seen a lot of these mini pop-ups pop back up.
Yay.
And so I do think everything is starting to proliferate again. And in the past, the example that I love to use, just because I think it's such a fun one, we've done over the past handful of years, we've worked a lot with Cirque du Soleil and in Southern California and helping them promote their touring shows through brand partnerships. And one of those that we've done consistently over the years has been with the IKEA stores in Southern California. And I think for me that the overarching joy in that is that, you kind of, if you're anything like me, you kind of have to work yourself up to go to an IKEA. And it's not because IKEA is not wonderful. It is. But, it's going to be crowded. It's going to be, really an endeavor. And so we were doing these in-store takeovers to celebrate these Cirque shows. And we would, do everything from redecorate the entry areas with using IKEA product, but things that thematically fit the theme of the shows. We would have these life-size cardboard cutouts of characters from the show throughout the store. Some of them were, photo ops as well. So they were very shareable in that way. We would play the music from the show. We would have B-roll on the IKEA TVs. We'd have costume characters roaming the stores, interacting, taking pictures with customers, handing out flyers that had, a custom discount code. We'd have games that families could participate in and they'd win branded prizes.
Wow.
We'd have activities like face painting and craft making for kids, again, all thematically tied back to the shows.
Yeah.
We did like live ticket giveaways, we did all kinds of things. But the best part of all of that was, standing near the front of the show and watching people come in and just the surprise on their faces. And then that, kind of like, what is this? And then smiling because they weren't expecting it. And I am just a huge fan of the old surprise and delight, just giving somebody something they weren't expecting and, putting a smile on their face, giving them a really great experience. IKEA does that intrinsically as a company.
I love IKEA.
Their employees are, having worked with these people, they are incredible. They really are, from top to bottom about the customer experience. So I think it really fit with kind of their ethos as a company too. But just watching people come in and, see and be immersed in this experience that they weren't expecting, but really ended up enjoying, it really was great. And I think it created a lot of awareness. It created a lot of, brand loyalty and interest. And it was just really a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I love IKEA. So it's already so exciting to come in. So I would be really excited. Here we go. I spent so much time in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes IKEA is a brilliant partner because like I said, you spend so much time in there. So you're walking through and that's a lot of exposure for you guys. So that's really smart. And I was going to ask, so you guys get the exposure, but what for IKEA, what would they really be benefiting from this partnership?
Well, there's so many levels of it. And this is, again, why I love doing these kinds of things. But it was everything from, the employees got behind it. They'd be excited about it. And, they'd have a field day with this. They'd take pictures with the characters. They'd, really, want to know what we were promoting so that they could talk about it. They really would get behind it. But I think it's the idea that, you're coming to an IKEA store and you already have an expectation of the experience you'll have. But now you're having fun. You're legitimately having fun. Maybe you were having fun before. If you're anything like me and you love the organizing section, that's fun. I am a Marie Kondo disciple. I love that kind of stuff. But, maybe, you see those husbands in tow that are like, fine, I'll be here. But like, just giving people something that really brightens their day. And, this all comes from a place of IKEA allowing it. IKEA encouraging it. So they're a brand that likes to have fun and be playful and give their customers, they do a lot to give back to their customers way above and beyond the scope of this. And the other thing we did with them, which was sort of a satellite event, was we actually brought IKEA on site to a couple of the dates where Cirque du Soleil was set up, and had them doing, giveaways. They were signing people up for IKEA family, and IKEA family members, whether they were new or existing, could get like a free bag of goodies on site. So they would come to the Cirque show that day, not really realizing, oh, I'm going to get, a goodie bag just because IKEA is here today. So, it was a very mutual experience in terms of, creating brand loyalty for both brands, but also aligning to really fun, really creative, really consumer-centric brands.
Yeah. And so what would you say for, let's say I have an event coming up and I wanted to do some sort of partnership. It's hard to know where to start or how to reach out to someone. What would you say, like where to start, or would they need someone maybe like you guys to help them form those connections and relationships?
I think for bigger brands, it's easier to have somebody that does that for you, because the partnership aspect can be, and certainly event planning can be just overwhelming. But if you're a little company and you're just trying to leverage the audience of another, brand, or, get word out about your event, I think a great place to start is with your values and your voice. What brands kind of iconically fit what you're trying to do. And who speaks about things in a way that, has the same values as you? Are they speaking about things in a way that you agree with and it resonates with your audience too? And, also understand that you need to be targeting partners that are the right size. So, if you're an event and you're just going out there for the first time and nobody's heard of you, you're probably not going to get an IKEA unless you have, something that hooks into their existing initiatives. But that's not to say that there couldn't be a local store, or restaurant, or, shop, or any number of things that make sense for you. So, be realistic about the scale. But more importantly, make sure that your consumers match, that there's sort of a Venn diagram of, who your audience is, who their audience is, and that overlap makes intuitive sense and is going to make sense to each of your audiences.